Hey everyone, this is Lou from Lou Does Websites, and I want to tell you about how to start a dialogue with me, how to communicate with me if you're interested in getting a website built. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I do get people approach to me and say that they don't know how this works. They're not sure what to say. And yeah, it makes sense to not sort of be ready to have that conversation if you don't know how to have it. And I also, this comes up a lot as well, but I also don't want to blame you for not knowing what you don't know. It's a very normal and common thing. And yeah, quite often, people will come to me not knowing what they don't know, not knowing how the process works, not knowing what to ask for, and not knowing the lingo. And all of that is totally fine. So what I'm going to do in this video is explain how to approach this. Um, so I do want to start out with just how the initial dialogue happens. So what I typically expect to start a new project is that the client approaching me already have a good sense of what your business looks like, how it all works. You've got a model, you've got a target audience, you know how you want to make your money essentially. And so then from there, what I'm doing for you is creating an online presence, a place for your business to exist online, be searched for, be searched for in Google, be searched for in an LLM, whatever that may be. So we typically do start with a brief and an established idea of what we're building. If we don't know, if you're not sure which platform you want to use, if you're not sure how your website should look, if you're still figuring some things out about your business and you need an extra hand working that stuff out, then you may not be ready for a conversation about a website. So if you know and you have a pretty good idea of what we're building, well, I'm happy to start there. But if there are lots of unknowns and if there are things that you haven't made a decision about, then the question of how much will your website cost, it's not a simple one. And the answer that I give you, if you want an instant answer from me then and there, the answer that I give you may actually turn out to be not accurate and frankly pretty disappointing outcome for me and for you. And this is especially true when you come to me with lots of ands, you come to me with lots of, oh, what if? You come to me with, midway through a conversation with what about? So every time you come to me and say, I want a website, but I don't know, or and this, or what about this, what about that? The more times that you have to ask, what about, I'm not sure, can you help me decide? The conversation then becomes less about quoting for a website and more about consulting and discovering what your internal business systems will be. And that is something that unfortunately I'm not able to give in a free website quote. Because once you start saying, I'm not sure, help me decide, what about, and this, and that, sounds like I'm a little bit frustrated. And I'm trying not to be. But what I want you to know is, yeah, the less you're unsure about and the more guidance and directions you need from me, the more this is a discovery phase and not a getting a website quote. As I said before, if you come up to me and ask me for something and you expect an answer then and there instantly that solves all your problems, that's going to be a disappointing outcome. It's a bit like visiting a doctor when you're not well, and without them asking any questions about your history, your family history, how long you've had the symptoms, your weight, how old you are, what other medications you're taking. If you get a treatment plan without addressing all those other things, it may be the wrong one. So what I'm saying is that if I give you a plan for a website that isn't right for you, we're both going to be disappointed. So again, the difference here is having a brief ready, knowing, having a good idea what your website needs to do, then great, we can build that. But if there's lots of unknowns and a lot of things you're not sure about, you're trying to decide between A and B, and you want me to figure out the best thing for you, there isn't necessarily a straight answer. Now, it could be that you're unwell, you go and see a doctor and they can tell right away that it's so-and-so infection, so they'll give you a medicine for that. And that can also be true with websites and digital stuff. But for the most part, there is going to be some degree of going away and thinking about it, making a plan, thinking about how many different things fit together. And that is not something I am happy to give you a quick answer for. These are complex things, and your business is unique. And in order to give you the best thing, the right thing, we need to plan things out. We need to research. We need to consider things. And that is something that you cannot get from a 5-minute phone call from me. So, where to go from here? So if it's looking like you've still got some behind the scenes stuff internally for your business, you need to make some decisions about what payment system you're using. You need to make your decisions about how you're going to handle incoming customer inquiries, or there's so many questions. That is a lot more than that is a lot more than asking, what should my website look like? And then how many pages do I need? There's more things going on there. So genuinely and honestly, if there's a lot of decisions to make and you want to reduce your risk, what you may have to do is actually find yourself a business consultant or a mentor. And this may be someone that you pay money to spend some hours with, to sit down and figure out the right business systems that make sense for you. The job of these people is to help allay your anxieties and help you reach a decision that makes sense for the type of business you want to build. My specific job is to create websites. That is a different job to figuring out what the inside and out of your business should be for you. So I hope I've made this clear. If you're very certain about the kind of website that you'd like to have, you recognize things in your business that need to change and you're working on changing them, then the role I play is in the digital storefront, the website. If you're ready to have that conversation, the next thing to do is to send me your brief via email, and then we can make a scheduled appointment where we can discuss and think things through calmly and thoughtfully. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.